Church, or the Black Church Project, or what I like to call Black spirituality, brings to America a unique theological framework that is not minstrality. It is not the white church in blackface. It brings, one, the idea of the sovereignty of God. Two, that there's no sacred and secular separation, that the Spirit is loose in the world. Three, it brings this idea that God is on the side of those who have their backs against the wall, and the belief in the possession of the Spirit. And that project is the project that created the hush harbors, the clearing spaces where Black people created revolutionary radical space to transform the democracy and to resist the powers that sought to marginalize them. The Black church is something that needs to be studied, but it also needs to be understood not, again, as something that is in the trajectory of Western church dynamics, but as uniquely American, uniquely African American. It is Creole, bringing two traditions together to create something that we've not seen before. Black church studies is important for ministerial formation because it broadens our scope, it deepens our spirituality, it allows us to know that the flourishing church is the global South, and the one tradition on the soil of North America that is developing, that is shifting and changing in unique ways, is the Black church, or the Black Church Project, or Black spirituality. And anyone who is going into the area of studying faith traditions has to stop by the community known as the Black church tradition. If I was to frame the moment that we're in reference to the Black church, I would use a character that probably people who are not familiar with the Marvel Universe do not know, a character known as Luke Cage. Luke Cage, who works in Harlem, who's concerned about his community, but is feeling the pressure from all of these other global influences. The Black church is in this Luke Cage moment. Will it be committed to the community in Harlem? Will it be able to respond to the global pressures? And will it recognize that in order to be a hero or a shero, that it must root itself in its community, its culture, its spirituality, its traditions, its language, all that makes it who it is? It has to root itself in that way. Luke becomes a hero when he roots himself and he's unashamed and he's unapologetic about who he is. There's a new generation of people who are bringing together the arts along with digital technology and exploring their theology and their expression of their relationship with God outside of the box. I think of a gentleman by the name of Niall Fort, who is utilizing poetry and art to speak about issues around Israel and Gaza. I'm thinking about the cinematic aspects of theology that are emerging, that there are some things that can only be expressed in pictures and through sound. The utilization of music and dance. There has to be more study beyond the traditional systematic framework of what, again, I'm calling the creolization of theology that is emerging among this present generation. YDS has the opportunity to be the nexus and a beacon where people have a space to be able to explore, learn in a rigorous environment, and express the totality of their intellectual curiosity, and at the same time move forward in their call. I don't think there are many divinity schools that are poised to be able to bring all of the resources to bear to allow someone to fully express their intellectual and spiritual curiosities. And that's what's exciting about YDS. Yale Divinity School needs to have a Black church studies program. And this is why. The Black Church Project has been the spiritual project that has expanded the democratic project in America. And if a divinity school wants to truly engage the sacred, it has to engage the most radical, unique, and understudied community, that being the Black Church Project. From the Pentecostal to the Presbyterian to the AME to the Progressive Baptist to looking at the freedom movement to looking, as Evelyn Higginbotham talks about, the early 1900s Black women Baptist movement that helped shape women's suffrage, to the abolitionist movement, to, in the words of Toni Morrison, the clearing, spaces where Black people could function and flourish without the gaze of white supremacy. This is what the Black Church Studies program should examine, along with congregational studies, to understand how, not the megachurch, but how small storefront churches are impacting communities. They don't get enough love and need more love, along with the social justice movement, the Pan-African movement of the Shrine of the Black Madonna, the Pan-African Ethiopian Orthodox tradition. There's so much. It is an understudied community that has expanded democracy for all. And without the Black Church Project, America cannot be America, and the yet-to-be United States of America can never flourish or imagine what it would be to be united without the Black church.